In this video, I will be showing you how I painted the Lunar New Year lanterns from the initial washes, brush strokes, and even a pen. Welcome to Watercolour Workshop. So I started by wetting the paper with a nice big wide brush, and then I'm putting on a wet wash with a nice warm yellow. I'm leaving some white, particularly near the horizon, and a few gaps at the top of the sky as well. That's a mop brush I'm using there. So here's the reason for the gaps. I'm going to put some purple in along the top, just to give the sky a bit of life. And then I'm also using that purple along the bottom, which neutralizes the yellow to give a neutral colour. And then you can see me there and blotting out the centre of the lantern. We'll come back to that later. Okay, so now some more work on the foreground, painting in some very basic hill shapes. And then when everything was dry, I went back into the sky for a second layer, just to strengthen the clouds. I'm putting the paint on, and then I'm softening the edges with a dampish brush. And then more clouds along the top. So the hills have quite a sharp edge, while the clouds have more of a soft edge. And they're all the same colours to tie together. I'm putting a little bit of red in the middle ground, I suppose that is the hills. The reason for this will become clear when I paint the lanterns in, and then another foreground layer. So I'm trying to keep the centre of the lanterns clean by constantly wiping away any paint. Here's the reason why I'm putting some bright yellow into the centre. This is the flame in the centre of the lanterns. And then the lanterns themselves, which are a nice bright red. This is cadmium red. I'm painting with a fairly big brush. That's a number 8. A number 8 round. All my brushes are synthetic. So I'm painting wet onto dry here to keep some control. I don't want the paint to be spreading everywhere. Although the centre is, the yellow centre of the flame is still wet to give a nice merge, as you can see. And then I'm painting black on the underside of the lantern. And again, I'm letting that merge into the red, soften into the red to give a nice soft shadow. And now the top of the red, a basic brown colour, probably bird sienna, and a little umber or Payne's grey perhaps. So you show me they're testing a colour and a thickness of the paint on a little spare piece of paper, because I'm dry brushing now. Dry brushing the tassels that hang from the bottom of the lanterns. And if you get this too wet, you won't get this stringy or feathery effect. So I just have a little test before I commit to the paper. And the light's coming from the right hand side, so there's some shadows on the left hand side. Just just to give it a little bit of 3D. Bamboo pole is basically some yellow. I would have just picked up some colours from my palette that were already mixed from a previous painting, probably. So it looks like yellow and a bit of brown, which would be burnt sienna. And then a bit more brown for this very thin, distant one. I'm using a flat brush, as you can see. I'm using it sideways on for this narrow section. And then I'm going back over it with some darker colour, probably burnt umber. Bamboo pole is still damp, so it merges in a little bit. Some of it will be damp, some of it will be dry, and you get a combination of dry brushstrokes and damp brushstrokes. Next, with a fairly small brush, that'd be a number 3, I would say. Painting in the pole dividers, what are they? I don't know what they're called. And next, I realised I'd forgotten the very fine tassel, so I used a very fine dry brush. And then something new for me, a pen. I think they call it a pen. And another new thing, some liquid watercolour. I've never tried it before, I normally just use paint. I thought I'd give it a go. It's not an ink, it's a liquid watercolour. And I tried my best to get a nice, clean, even line. I'm not sure if I prefer this or just painting with a rigger. I'll do a test someday and compare the two. But yeah, it was good to try something new. So we're almost finished now. Just put in a few little final details, little bits of string hanging from the lanterns. And now you can see why I had a little bits of red in the foreground. There's just to tie in with the lanterns. Maybe there's some in the middle distance, maybe. Something more dark in the foreground, and we're finished. So there we are. Lunar New Year lanterns. Well, I hope you enjoy that, and you join me for another watercolour workshop very soon.